I thought I knew what my last day at work would feel like. Turns out I didn't. Hi, I'm James. I retired in May of 2025 after decades as a project manager in big tech. And on this channel, I share my own journey, the real, sometimes messy side of stepping off the treadmill so you can feel a little more confident about your own retirement decisions. Today's topic, my last day at work, what no one tells you. Stay with me to the end because it might surprise you which part hit me the hardest. Work has been my life for decades. Deadlines, meetings, projects, business travel, big launches. It was more than what I did, it was who I was. So on my last day, I did what most people do. I drafted a farewell email. To be honest, I hesitated. I didn't want to make a fuss. I didn't want it to sound like some final victory lap. But I'm glad I sent it, because almost right away, notes started trickling in. Some from colleagues I hadn't talked to in years. Some funny memories, some genuine thanks, and even a personal note from a C-level executive. I sat there reading them and felt this unexpected mix of gratitude and grief. Then comes the part no one prepares you for, emptying out your office. One by one, I took personal things off the shelves. A drawing my son had made, a couple of books I kept meaning to read at lunch. The space felt hollow, and I wondered, who's going to sit here next? More than that, I wondered when the day will come when no one there remembers who I was. And that day will come. At every company, it eventually does. Finally, I met with my direct supervisor, handed over my badge and laptop. Simple enough, but suddenly I wasn't an employee anymore. Officially, I became a visitor, someone who needed an escort to walk the halls that I had walked freely for years. It was strange, but it helped to have some good friends walk me to the door that last time. Then came the longest short walk of my career, the walk to my car. Holding a few personal items, like a classic movie scene, but real. I felt blessed to be retiring in my 50s, but also scared. Because for the first time in decades, there was no next meeting, no next quarter, just next. And next was completely up to me. Looking back, there were 3 things no one told me about my last day. Not HR, not the retirement seminars, not those glossy articles you read. First, you don't suddenly lose your identity, but it does start to shift. All those years when people asked, what do you do? I had an answer. I'm a project manager. Now, I still have that story. It doesn't vanish, but it steps back like an actor moving from center stage to the side. And that's not always bad. It just feels different. Second, that farewell email. It matters. Not for the words you write, but for the responses you get. They become a little mirror showing the moments that really mattered to others. And sometimes they're not the big wins. It might be the time you stayed late to help, or the funny story you told in a tense meeting, or the mentoring you barely remember doing. Those replies reminded me what we do matters in ways we often never see while we're busy doing it. And third, handing over your badge hits harder than the cake, the speeches, or the email. It's a small act, plastic, on a lanyard. But in that moment, the door closes, literally and symbolically. You step outside as someone else. And that's the moment that finally makes it real. Leaving felt less like finishing a marathon and more like quietly stepping off a walkway at the airport. Everyone else keeps gliding by, still heading to their gates. And you? Well, you're standing there, luggage in hand, realizing your journey is different now. I drove home that day, box on the seat next to me, feeling oddly calm. Not triumphant, not defeated, just human. Thankful, a little bit sad, and curious about tomorrow. If you're getting close to retirement, I invite you to think about your own last day. Not to dread it, but to see it for what it is. A bridge, not a cliff. A moment to look back with gratitude and forward with hope. And if you're just starting to think about retirement, or maybe you've already crossed that door, know this. It's okay to feel proud and scared at the same time. It means you care about what comes next. Thanks for walking through this moment with me. If this helped, consider subscribing. It helps me, and it helps YouTube share this with others who might need it. If you'd like, I can do a follow-up video about what my first week of retirement felt like. Just let me know in the comments. And tell me, what do you think your last day will feel like? Or if you've already retired, what surprised you the most? Thanks for being here. See you next time.